In this video we're gonna talk about the highly anticipated Studio Series 102 Optimus Prime, or rather the buzzworthy Bumblebee 102 Optimus Prime, Target exclusive. Really, Hasbro? Anyways, terrible distribution strategies aside, this is in my opinion the best Optimus Prime figure in the Studio Series line. So let's talk about why. But before, I wanna thank the channel member and good friend of mine El Zombie, who helped me get a hold of this figure and who generously provided a second copy so we can give away in this review. So I suggest you stick till the end of the video. And now let's proceed with the review of this amazing figure.
I'm going to take back Scourge's key and then take off his head.
This figure looks fantastic in its robot mode. It looks as close to the CGI model as any Studio Series figure can. I really think the proportions are really good, the mechanical detail is really clean, and the paint applications, even though they're nothing mind-blowing, they managed to get the job done. These pretty shades of silver, gunmetal grey, and yellow that it wasn't there in the movie, but don't look bad at all here, give a lot of visual dynamism to a color scheme that we have seen a million times. Check this out, even the windshield wipers are really well painted, which I think is a very fine job for the Studio Series line. We got an Autobot insignia in both shoulders, which looks nice, but this one located on his abs wasn't there out of the box. This is just one of those stickers that come with every package from Shozy Store. Even the back of this figure is really well done, unlike most of the Studio Series line. You could maybe see it a little bit from the front, but I think that overall it's a very well done job. A lot better than the figure Studio Series 38. Speaking of, a lot of people have asked me to review that figure, but I may never do it. Since it came out, I think the proportions and the cable distribution on that figure aren't the best, which is why I'm very surprised that they did such a good job updating it for the design of the new movie. Honestly, this robot mode is so well done that the few negative details do stand out. I am not the first and won't be the last to mention that the smokestacks in the shoulders are facing the wrong direction, which doesn't look the best. I don't think it would have been really hard to add a rotation point right there. And even though it's something that normally I'd be very upset about, for some reason in this case it's something that I can very easily ignore, and that head sculpt is just the icing on the cake. I love the job that they did on the sculpting and painting for this face, especially in those eyes, look at them. And overall, I think it's a very good head sculpt for a very good figure of Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beasts. And in general, I really like this figure. You can tell that they prioritize this mode, and though I appreciate that decision, it's going to be a problem a little bit later. And as is usual for the Studio Series figures, in this case we only have two accessories. First we'll talk about this Energon sword, which looks really nice, very well sculpted, and the paint tabs are acceptable. You can either plug it with this tab on the side of the forearm, which in my honest opinion doesn't look that well, or with this other tab in the front part of the forearm. Now that looks really cool. Or you can plug it on his hand so he uses it like a regular sword, and yeah, that looks okay. And if you don't want to use it, you can store it on either side of the back, and that looks okay, but not great. And since I really like how it looks, it's a very iconic look of the live action movie Prime, I do wonder why they couldn't include a second sword, so that he could wield one on either side. Anyway, the next accessory, which was honestly kinda disappointing, is this cannon. Now honestly, I didn't really like the decision to make the arms of Prime transform into his guns in the new movie. I can't really tell why, for me it's a little bit weird, I prefer his iron blaster, but in the end, if they decided to go this way in the movie, why not include that accessory that is a better representation of it? This small grey nipple is almost disappointing compared to what Prime had in the movie. It's barely bigger than his fists, which is why personally I don't think I'm gonna display him like this. The cannon can also be stored on the back, which I don't really like, but I don't really remember where I saw it online. Someone please let me know. We can open up Prime's chest, untransform this part, and just throw it in there like if it was a matrix of leadership or something. I think this is a better storage option, but it could get a little bit annoying if you're gonna have it rattling in there all the time. But yeah, that small piece of crap is kinda sad. Now I know why El Zombie decided to add this other cannon, which is an upgrade kit that you could buy in AliExpress if you're interested. And in case anyone's wondering, I'm going to be shipping this accessory in the box of the figure that we're giving away. I don't know why Hasbro decided to limit themselves so much with the cannon. They have shipped bigger accessories with other figures, which is why I think the AliExpress upgrade kit, or even better, the DNA design kit that you can pre-order on Shozy Store, would be a much better alternative. And to wrap things up, as with every other Studio Series figure, you get the typical backdrop where you can display your figure. This one in particular is from that scene in Cusco, Peru, for some reason, which is something I think every Peruvian subscriber is gonna be very happy about. But anyways, let's talk about a very positive aspect of this figure, that articulation. Ball joint on the head that allows a lot of range. You can rotate 360 degrees, you can look up this far and down not that much. 360 degrees rotation on the arm, shoulders move this far out. Bicep rotation, a surprising double joint at the elbow, really nice. And due to transformation, the elbow can also bend backwards. Wrist rotation, which is another very impressive joint, and the hand can move a little bit in and out due to transformation. Waist rotation, and perhaps the most surprising joint on this figure, a very nice ab crunch, which enables a lot of range. Just look at this, although the wheels do look a little bit weirder. The legs are connected at this point here at the front, which enables a long range of kick. It can kick forward this far, but sadly not that much back. Side skirts can move up and down, which enables a very good split. Oh, careful with the side skirt. Thigh rotation, about 90 degrees at the knee, that's perhaps the most limited joint on this figure. And finally, the foot is on a ball joint. It can rotate 360 degrees, it can move a little bit up and down. It also enables you for a very slight pivot, but you can push that even further with this hinge joint. Look at that range. Poseability in this figure is honestly mind-blowing. I don't get how a figure from the Studio Series line has better poseability than the masterpiece that the same company released 2 years ago. Whoa, time does fly. And not just that, but it does it looking a lot better. It's really impressive the range of articulation that you can give this figure. I'm really pleased with this guy on that aspect. But anyways, before we go into the size comparison, I'm going to clear things up a little bit because it's time for Bagheera! Here's Bagheera. I think it's been 2 months of this tradition, I'm not really sure, but I think this is the 8th time she shows up. Here, say hi, and yeah, it's time for you to go. And now, as always, you're gonna see how this figure fits with the rest of your collection. For our size comparison, here he is with SH Figuarts Iron Man, KO Masterpiece Movie Bumblebee, Unique Toys Optimus Prime. With my previous review, SH Figuarts Miles Morales, here he is next to Yellow Park AMK Bumblebee, Yellow Park AMK Optimus Primal, and Yellow Park AMK Optimus Prime. Look how well this figure looks when compared to the CGI model. Here he is with Magnificent Mecha Optimus Prime, and finally here he is with Studio Series Deluxe Class Air Razor, Studio Series Voyager Class Cheetor, with Studio Series Voyager Class Rhino. Yes, I'm going to review the remaining figures from the Studio Series line from Rise to the Beasts, please stop asking, with Studio Series Voyager Class Barrel Trap, with Studio Series Deluxe Class Bumblebee, and finally with Studio Series Leader Class Scourge. And these two figures look really good together, but now that they also announced a DNA upgrade kit for Scourge, I believe they will look even better when those are applied. But yeah, this figure fits right in with the rest of your collection from Rise of the Beast, and this a very good robot mode. So far, this figure has been a very pleasant surprise. Most of the things that we have mentioned so far are a very positive aspect, with some small details here and there, but those negative details don't detract from the very good figure that this is. Too bad that this is the point where the trouble begins. And here we have Studio Series 102 in its truck mode. And it's not that bad, but yeah. I honestly don't know why they spent just 3 cents on the engineering for the legs. But it's definitely the worst aspect of this figure, because the rest of the truck looks very nice. I love the front of the truck. It's a very satisfying red and silver block, although I do wish these top parts were red too, and I really like the front grille. Plus you could give it the Autobot symbols by folding these pieces up, and that looks quite well, but it does leave a little gap here at the bottom. And I gotta say, I don't love that this front part is molded in a blue plastic, painted in red, because the blue colors end up bleeding over the edges and it doesn't look that good. And that Autobot sticker also comes from Fusy's store. But turning the figure to the back, here is where we see the main problems. It don't look good. And also the tanks on the sides don't really plug in, they just rest in place, so when you handle the figure it's very easy to collapse them accidentally and it can be very annoying. In fact, I think they are compressed right now. However, credit where credit is due, you can store both accessories in this mode, and it doesn't make the back of the truck look that much worse. But hey, at least 4 of the 6 tires that actually contact the ground roll really well, which is very satisfying. But yeah, unfortunately this could very well be the worst truck bed out of any Optimus Prime in my collection, and it does detract points from what otherwise would be a very complete figure, which is a little bit disappointing, and we'll have to wait for that DNA upgrade kit to fix these issues. But anyways, let's go to a very quick size comparison in order to finish this review. For a size comparison, here he is next to Iron Man, Bumblebee, Toy World Prime, with Eraser, with Cheetor, with Rhinox, with Battletrap, with Bumblebee, and with Scourge. And yeah, I think this collection of alt modes from Rise of the Beasts looks really cool, and this Optimus Prime fits right in. And overall, I think not only in its alt mode, but the entire figure is really good. So let's bring him back to his robot mode to give him his final grade, and I'm gonna give him 4 stars. Because while we were blessed with such a good robot mode, the truck mode does drag this figure down quite a bit. I think there must have been a better way to organize all this section, and it would have resulted in an overall much better figure than the one we got. Either way, I do recommend that you get this figure. Unfortunately, right now it's really hard to get a hold of one. A KO of this figure has already been announced by Byway, which could be a better solution for most people, and the KO of Studio Series Battletrap has already come out courtesy of Black Mamba, so it's a real possibility that they could also make a KO of this mold. Either way, trying to get an original copy of this figure is very hard right now, which is why once again I wanna thank my friend El Zombie for providing a figure to give away in this review. First of all, the original review in Spanish has to get 10,000 likes, at which point we will announce the winner of this figure, similar to how it worked with the Studio Series 100 Bumblebee, so be sure to leave a like on the original review, and then you'll have to go to the link in the description that will take you to a video of El Zombie, where he explains more or less the steps that you have to follow to take part in this giveaway. So a huge thanks to El Zombie, don't forget to leave your like on the original review, and good luck to everyone. And yeah, thanks for watching this review. Honestly, for being a Studio Series figure, I'm very satisfied, which isn't something I can say about the next review.